questions? Okay. Questions? Oh, yes, are there any questions?
I do have a question on it.
Yeah.
How did you decide which butterfly to put on the cover of your book? The main butterfly.
Oh, right. Just because I liked the picture, to be honest. I mean, I just liked it. I just thought it was quite, you know, visually interesting. Yeah. No, it's not like the most common or anything. Yeah. It's just a nice one.
No hidden meaning.
No. I think in this case, sort of bright is beautiful. So yes, but there was But somebody did ask me did say it must have been difficult to choose the 100 plus most ones to go in the book, and the answer to that was I was really aiming for the most common ones, the ones that people are likely to see. The idea of the book is to be as helpful as possible to people trying to ID butterflies now, and make a start on them. I mean, hopefully there's some interesting bits as well, even for people who've been butterflying for a long time, like Chun. There's probably some interest in there as well, but it's mainly for people to get started, get a grip, and so it's got to be the most common ones. And I tried to put as much about the. You think up here? Yes, I suppose. Sorry about this. Yes, so I tried to put all the common ones and also put good tips on ID, because sometimes it can be very confusing. The names can be confusing, and the differences can be tiny. But if you want to crack it, you've got to do that. You've got to look carefully, So yeah, and then of course the interesting ecology I tried to put in as well. Finally, I've got the microphone near my mouth and I'm about to stop. Oh dear. Well, right. Right. Yes, CK. Hi.
Do you get migrant butterflies to this island?
You get migrant butterflies? Yes. I mean, I believe Pomona migrates to and from the peninsula, I think, and other. Yes.
Are there many?
Not that many. I mean, Pomona's a good example. I think that the mottled emigrant probably also as well. Yeah, one or two, but no, it's not many. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
Top 3 butterfly destinations on Borneo are?
Top 3.
From your visits.
No, well, I was going to say, I don't think necessarily that our experience was really, usual. I mean, we wanted variety. So, I mean, we wouldn't necessarily go back to the same place again and again, even if it was the best. So I wouldn't try and say what's the best. And I think we probably missed some really good places as well, let's be honest. We just traveled around as much as we could, And I felt, as I say, that was enjoyable in itself, actually, and just saw what we could see. And my feeling is you're going to see butterflies pretty much everywhere if you keep your eyes open. And I'd say to get close to a butterfly and to take a good photograph, I'd say that the tip is you've got to think fast but move slowly. You've got to think, who is this butterfly? What's its habit? What's it doing? What's it going to do next? Because you need to predict what it's going to do next if you want to be close, especially close enough for a photo. So if it's on a flower, is it going to move to the next flower in a minute, in a few seconds? And or if it's chasing another butterfly, where are they off to, and how can I keep up with them? But you mustn't move too quickly. That's the important thing. You mustn't move too quickly. Sorry. That's the important thing. Because they will immediately go, and probably don't go out with non-butterflies too much, because as soon as they see a butterfly, they're excited. Oh, look at that butterfly, and that sends it whizzing off. So you want to move slowly, and if you're taking photographs, a good tip is to, as soon as you see the butterfly, take a photograph, even if it's going to be a speck. It doesn't matter. You can blow it up later and you will see some detail that you can't remember otherwise and might not see in the field. But you can, when you're reviewing your photographs, you will definitely pick up more detail if you take it. It doesn't matter. You might think this is a rubbish photograph, but it's a record for you. So always take the photograph and then move a step closer and I'm not joking, take another photograph and then a step closer, and that way you can creep up on them and you might get a really good shot in the end, but you'll at least have a record of what you saw. You can look it up, be sure of what you saw, and you'll be more ready for it next time. You'll be, and in a way, photographing butterflies and learning about them goes very well hand in hand, because to get the photograph, you have to understand the butterfly. And once you understand the butterfly, you're more likely to get the photograph. So it's a really good combination of things, you know. But yeah, so the more you know about them, the more close you're going to get to them. And as you're observing them, you're learning all the time. You know, are they fast or slow? Are they high or low? You know, do they tend to stay down? And do they like? You can really predict when you know your butterflies. Are they going to settle on that rock? You know, etc. Or are they going to dive under that bush or whatever? So yeah, that's for photographing. But always take the photograph. I think it's a really important record, and you can see more. And even taking a butterfly that's just moving off, say taking off, is still often very useful, because you'll get that flash of the overwing. That's how I identified some of our photographs. Like I might take 5 or 10 good shots, clear, but I still difficult to tell what it is. And then when it takes off, you get a flash of blue or something, and that tells you what it is for certain. You combine that. The over and under are both important, you know, to identify. So you need to be patient and persevere. You know, get on top of it. Sorry about this microphone thing, people. I hope you managed. You should have said earlier, John. Sorry. Somebody, you should have said, Quentin. Why are you here? You should have said. I thought you looked a bit gloomy. Thinking, but
Question.
Yes, sorry, question.
Are there any species of the butterfly that can be found in UK and Borneo?
No. But nice question. I wish, yes. Yes, I would lend you one of mine if you could lend me one of yours. Yeah, no. Because mainly butterfly distribution is dictated by what the caterpillar feeds on. That's why the caterpillar food plant is so important, you know. And so it's the plants, it's the vegetation that dictates the spread of the butterflies. I mean, obviously vegetation has a big impact on all types of fauna, but especially on the butterflies. And I think a lot of people who love butterflies, they will plant the nectar flowers for the adult, but they won't realise how important the caterpillar food plant is. You know, you have to have it. The butterfly cycle can't complete without the caterpillar food plant. But yes, so no, I wish there were some that we shared, but no. We just have to share the love of butterflies if we can't share the butterflies, yeah. Anybody else? Anything? Hello.
Hi. Just have questions. One is how we can differentiate the species, whether it's camouflage or different species. And the second one is, does the environment can influence the patterns of the butterfly legs? Some species in Sabah and in Kalimantan, but they have a different pattern.
Okay, the first bit was, can you tell? Yes.
The first question
yes.
is, how do we differentiate? Is it that species is a different species, or that is just a camouflage?
Right, well, I mean, a lot of species are, especially in the Nymphalidae, are camouflaged on the underside and bright on the top. And that's what that species looks like, always camouflaged underneath and always bright on top. So you just sort of really have to learn both over and under. That makes you recognise that one species, yeah. Is that what you mean? Sorry, next question. Next bit, any more?
Yeah. The second one is how does the environment can influence or change the pattern of each butterfly?
Yeah. Yes, and that's why butterflies are so important to study. You know, that's why so many studies have been made of butterflies, because they do change over time. You mean like from one generation to the next, depending on which can eventually depend like on climate change, which changes the environment, and they need to change to keep up with the environment. But because butterflies reproduce very quickly, you know, compared to other things like, you know, big mammals, you know, have like years and years before they can reproduce. they won't have they won't have a generation. Butterflies can have many generations very quickly, so they do react to the environment. Yes, so like, for example, if it gets drier and there's more dead or brown vegetation around, then butterflies will follow that often. They will become browner over years. This one species will change gradually through evolution, evolutionary pressure. I'm not sure if that's what you meant. Yeah.
So how about the key identifications of each of them?
Yes. Would that change? Well, that could change. Yes. I mean, in fact, there was a paper out recently saying that some butterflies in England are changing their spots. They're getting less spots if, depending on the amount of, as I say, the amount of light and there's more dry vegetation instead of green vegetation around. As it gets brown, they want to be camouflaged in the environment they're in, so they will change, but gradually over time. Yes, they can. Yes, if that makes sense. Yeah.
By that same analogy, does it mean that a colourful garden would have more colourful butterflies?
No. I mean, even in a colourful garden, you're going to have colour is in the flowers, but you're still going to have bushes and shady places in that environment. You're still going to have somewhere for those butterflies to settle. But, you'd have to say that if a butterfly is used to settling on, say, a brown tree, you'd have to cut down all the trees for that butterfly to have to move on or change. Yes, so long as there's a few spaces they can settle, then they will. You'd have to have a massive change.
Meaning to say that if I have a garden with more colours, would that invite more colour butterflies?
No, I don't. No, that's not quite the way it works. No. I mean, the colour in the flowers is just to attract all the butterflies to it. So even brown butterflies will feed on colourful flowers, right? It's where they settle that matters about, refers to.
Nectar flower. She's asking about nectar flower.
Yes, I'm saying if you have a nectar flower, a bright flower will attract all sorts of butterflies, because they don't spend all their time worrying about being camouflaged, but they will all visit flowers. Remember like we saw the Idea stolly, which is black and white and usually lives high in the canopy, had come down to a pink flower, but it's not a pink butterfly. Yeah, they don't have to be constantly, they don't only ever settle on a camouflaged surface, they will also settle, they will go to a flower if they have to get the nectar. Yeah, so it's quite complex, yes. I see what you mean, yes. Yeah.
Sorry, may I say something? Yeah.
Yes.
So it's almost time.
Yeah.
And there's only 2 more questions from the floor. All right?
Yeah.
Then we will done.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I just ask you
Please.
something? I understand it took you a long time to write this book.
Yeah.
How long ago?
Yeah.
Can you tell us how many years it took you to complete this?
Yes, this project took about, I'm so glad you asked that question. Yes, this project took about 10 years, I think. Yeah. But obviously there was also a lot of research. I mean, another thing I tried to do in the book was to talk about not just Borneo, but it's obviously about Borneo, but in the range section, I mentioned where these butterflies will be in nearby countries as well. So that people travelling around the region will be, they might see a butterfly in Borneo and then they go, say, to the Philippines and they might think this is the same or it's not the same. So they feel comfortable, that information. And also that sometimes there are very small differences in the same butterfly between 2 countries. So bring out that, so the real facts. So I read a lot around the whole region as well. Yeah.
Okay, the last question better be a good one.
If you bring a butterfly that is native to Borneo back to UK, can it survive? And if yes, will it be an invasive species?
Oh, that is a good question. No, if you bring a butterfly from Borneo back to England, it won't survive, because for the reason we were talking about earlier, that they depend on the food, on the caterpillar. I mean, the individual butterfly might survive for a short time, I suppose, but they're used to the climate here, but it couldn't survive and reproduce in England, because it wouldn't have their caterpillar food plant would not be there. We have completely different vegetation in England, so yeah. So no, it wouldn't survive. But I like your ideas that we should have. This is a good idea, yeah. So.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm so sorry I wasn't using this properly. You should have said. Was it okay?
It's like singing.
Yeah. I
you're loud.
don't do that.
You're loud.
Was it loud enough? I hope so.
I can
I'm
hear
so
from outside
sorry.
just now.
Really? Oh, good. Cheers. Thank you very much.
I look from the window to the presentation. Okay. Yes.
Lovely.
Thank you very much, Anna.
Thank you.
You may
Thank you.